What's going on, guys? We have a fantastic video today. Something light, nothing too crazy, because we are buying our absolute dream home. We had our offer accepted. It's now been a week. We've had to go through so much stuff we've had to submit to the lender, the underwriter, and basically I am being strictly monitored right now for any spending, any account balance changes. So I pretty much can't spend any money on Pokemon right now, but I have been saving all of my cash tips from the bar, and they can't monitor that. So I spent $250 on this lot. I am really happy with it. There are some missing cards. I did include those in my fourth PSA submission. Technically, it's my sixth submission or seventh submission ever, but the fourth big one. And to that point, I had 155 cards I was going to send off to PSA. I cut out a whopping 68 of those cards, I think, roughly, somewhere around that area, maybe about 70. So basically, I cut my submission in half, guys. I really want to show you guys I am perfectly capable of pre-grading and sending in very strong candidates, but even with this submission, I'm pretty sure I'm going to end up with either a 40 to 60% gem rate, just because I'm sending a lot of stuff. I feel like they're going to be harsh, but we're going to see. I really didn't send too much half-ass stuff. I will say all the vintage that I sent in the submission, I know none of that stuff is going to gem, so that's also why I kind of think it's going to end up being 40 to 60%. But I sent a lot of modern equally that I think is gem worthy. So this should be a very interesting submission. This time around, I was able to group everything into bulk, which saved me a ton of money. I'm hoping everything will slip through under the radar. Probably not going to be the case, but let's find out. We still have our value submission that's coming back. There's 5 cards in that submission. I did pretty well on that submission. I'm really excited to show you those cards. They are not here yet, so I'm excited to get those. Probably going to be another day or so. But yesterday, we were just conditionally approved for our big loan on this new house. So I'm excited about that, excited to share that with you guys. And without further ado, let's go ahead and jump straight into this. So, went to the shop, picked up a lot of stuff, and a couple of those cards, one, I can remember some off the top of my head. I had 3 Destined Rivals Kangaskhans. 2 of those Kangaskhan illustrations I sent off to PSA yesterday, and one of them I kept in this pile. There was another illustration I can't remember off the top of my head, maybe an SIR as well. And then on top of that, there was a Feraligatr illustration contest card, the non-holo. I think that it's an awesome card. I think it's a really cool card. I think it's kind of a little historic card, being that it won the illustration contest. And I think Feraligatr is just a top tier alpha, just a badass Pokemon. So I love that card. I sent it off to get graded. I have no idea. I mean, it's slightly off center, but either way, I'm grading a lot of stuff that I like. And the thing is, a lot of these cards were acquired dirt cheap. So I'm not too worried what the grades I'm going to get on those. And I want to clarify on that I'm not strictly hunting for stuff that's going to PSA 10. Okay, now let's talk about the stuff that I picked up from the shop. We're going to go ahead and start with the vintage stuff, because I think that this is actually the coolest part of this. It blows my mind that first edition commons and uncommons are still so damn cheap for vintage, right? All this stuff is blowing up in vintage. Meanwhile, I was able to pick all of these cards up out of the shop's dollar binder, right? And then at the end, I don't know what's going on with my relationship with my local favorite shop, Get Some Game. I don't know what's going on there, because they've been really tough to negotiate with recently, and now they're getting really easy to negotiate with. I think they're just realizing that I'm such a regular that they're going to keep working with me, but they gave me all of these for free. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at these, and I'll talk about an auction that I have running currently along with all of these cards that I'm going to show you guys. And yeah, it's pretty sweet. So for those of you that are looking for a budget auction, I'll talk about that in a minute, but we have a great one going down this week that ends, I think, in 5 or 6 days. Okay, so starting off, guys, we've got the Ghastly. Ghastly is so iconic. With the recent Ghastly illustration in Modern fetching crazy premiums like $230, $250, I think it's amazing that you can still get a Ghastly first edition like this from Fossil for so cheap. And granted, I think they go for a good bit more online. I'm sure a lot of people sell them for cheap, but these are actually, like, pretty much all of these are near mint. So these are really, really good condition. I would say probably PSA 6 to PSA 8, somewhere in that area. They're not all the same condition, but they're really, really nice. Rocket's Meowth, again, with Destined Rivals, this is just a great card to see. Another Rocket card, Coughing, a great artwork. Love seeing that. In fact, who did that artwork? Kizuki. He did a great job on that one. We got Krabby. I think there's 2 of those in there. That's Fossil. Pharaoh. I always thought Pharaoh was sick. I always liked this card. I don't know why. Just reminds me of like Flying Rooster, but I love it. Ekans. I love the art. I love the retro colors. I've always been a big vintage retro fanboy, and this card is everything, right? You've got that vibrant purple, that light green, the orange. It's all so complementary, and the colors just look awesome, and it just takes me back to a time where I was a much younger guy and had my whole life ahead of me. We got another Krabby in there. We got Geodude. Dude, Geodude's so sick. I mean, from the beginning of Pokemon with Brock, Geodude was kind of like his go-to Pokemon, and Onix. Dude, it's an OG. So we love seeing these. Whenever I see first edition cards, I pick them up. I don't even have to think twice about it, especially if I'm getting a deal, especially if it's at the shop and it's local and it's easy. Right now, so many things are difficult to get our hands on right now. Sealed product, scalpers are everywhere. My GameStop, I can't even use my freaking coupon because there's never anything there. Not only that, they closed one of the locations nearby. So I really have nothing. And then where we're moving in Charlotte really doesn't have any game shops nearby. So I'm really going to be very much alienated from a lot of card shops and retail. So I'm probably going to cancel my GameStop membership. But this shop that I go to the most is close to my bar and it's on the way to work. So this is something I'll always be able to do, and I'll always be able to source stuff locally. So I'm really excited about that. But yeah, then we got Magmar. This Magmar is pretty chilling. I mean, it's kind of a scary looking artwork when you think about it from the adult perspective or from a kid perspective. Very creepy, but we love that classic artwork. Then we got this Magnemite from Rocket. I think a lot of these Rocket cards are pretty cool considering we just had Destined Rivals drop. Nidorina, again, great card with retro colors. Just looks so fantastic. I love the whole Nidoqueen and Nidoking lineup. Nidoking is one of my favorite Pokemon of all time, along with a lot of other ones, but man, hard to choose. Gotta catch them all. Bellsprout, classic artwork, just gorgeous. These have just aged so freaking well. Jigglypuff, dude, this was probably one of my favorites out of the lot. I love this artwork. I love that vibrant pink. I think Jigglypuff is sick. I don't know why. I just like some of these derpy pink Pokemon. Same thing with like Tinkatink. We got another Ekans artwork, which is pretty cool because you get both Ekans artworks in here. And I guess one of those, I think it's both Fossil. No, that's the Rocket Ekans, and then this is the Fossil Ekans. So that's pretty cool that you get both of those. Sandslash, dude, Sandslash is goated. Come on, who doesn't like Sandshrew, Sandslash? It's just a sick Pokemon. Cloyster, again, my favorite thing is these retro colors. These cards just, they never get old to me. So here are 16 first edition vintage cards. I'll just show you the back right here. This is what I'm dealing with. These are very, very clean. Some of them might have been packed fresh and they were just turned in. We are running an auction for those of you looking for a chance to build your vintage budget-friendly collection. We are running an auction on a lot. I haven't done an auction in a while. I like doing auctions. I start them at a penny. It gives everybody a chance to get stuff for cheap. And I usually do it when I'm dealing with mixed lots of cards, where it's kind of harder to come up with a market value. And it gives me something that I can give back to the community. I set a lot of my listings high. I got a family to provide for. I'm a single income father. And I run a business too, so I'm very busy. So if I'm going to ship stuff out, if I'm gonna sell stuff, not gonna do it for super cheap. This isn't my full-time gig. So this allows me to give back to the community and let the people decide what something is worth. And if they get a steal on it, great. That's what it's all about. That's what my auctions are all about. Anyways, we have a ton of really pack fresh minty cards. I don't know if y'all can really tell, but like this whole stack is very, very crisp. We have a lot of stuff in here. All of that is on eBay. Commons, uncommons, rares. Yeah, there's Magikarp and Dark Gyarados and Dark Electrode. Just some of the ones at the top of this pile, just to give you guys an idea. None of them are first edition. This is all unlimited stuff, but still pretty cool. So anyways, all that stuff is gonna be available. We have a ton. This whole stack is mint condition, pack fresh Neo Discovery. I don't know how many times people are gonna get an auction where they can buy a huge lot of mint pack fresh Neo set cards like this. This is a lot of cards right here. This whole lot is gonna be about 152 cards, I believe, which means we've got about, we got some Rocket cards in there, maybe a pack or two worth, and then mostly all Neo Discovery. So, and I have a lot more of mint vintage bulk that I'm about to list. I'll probably list those as auctions too, but all of that is going up. I think right now the bid's at like $25. So if somebody won that, that would be crazy good deal for all this stuff. But that stuff is on my eBay. Now let's go ahead and jump into the stuff that I paid $250. Well, that was a part of it, but those were thrown in on top. But we're still counting that in the value. In my opinion, I think is about, not that the value and the money is everything, but there's always those people wondering how well did he actually do on this. I think the value of all this stuff is probably realistically around $350 to $375. So was $250 really worth it to take a trip, go out, list all this stuff? Yes, because it's fun, I'm having a good time, and $250, honestly, this day and age, with the cost of everything rising, $250 is really good. That literally gets you one booster box of Destined Rivals, and you might not even pull anything good out of it. Let's go ahead, jump straight into it. Let's start with our heavy hitter first, Paldean Fates. This was such a big deal when this special set came out. The Bubble Mew is still on my hit list. For a lot of people, this Charizard was the biggest card on their hit list. For me, not as much a fan, which is why it makes it so easy for me to sell this copy. This copy is gorgeous. Honestly, the front is flawless. It's really well centered. A lot of people would probably consider this for grading. I will show you guys the back. It has slight amount of whitening, kind of a whitening on that corner, maybe a slight indent on this one corner down here. For anybody that's gonna consider this, it is on my eBay, but it's very, very faint. You guys can just see that little white corner. Maybe someone can even, I don't know. I don't think that would keep it from getting a 10 necessarily, but I'm also not a grading expert and I didn't want to take a big risk. And for the sake of me basically getting my initial investment back, I may take this off eBay and submit it if it sits for a long time, but this is our first big heavy hitter that creates a lot of the value in this sub. This is about 160, 170 market. I have it priced higher because I do think it's a really clean, good copy. But then, so basically with the first editions going at like, even if you give those a super cheap market price, we're banking about $200 already right here. So this stuff right here easily makes up the other 50, and I think a lot more. But next up, we've got Pikachu VMAX. This is such an iconic art. I love this card. I think it's phenomenal. This one's super off-center, but it's still super, super minty. If we look at the back here, it's really, really clean. And these are just random sleeves. I would ignore these price stickers. The Yan Mega, this one actually is legit. This one was about 25 in the shop. I just think this is a beautiful card. Destined Rivals just came out. This is an SIR, and while it's not the big heavy hitter, it's still a crazy good looking card. And I think there's a lot of room for this one to grow. So even if I set these on eBay and they sit for, a month, 2 months, whatever, or a couple weeks, I think it's okay because the market shifts and moves and eventually, everything pretty much sells that I've listed. Okay, so here we have the stamped Destined Rivals, I guess you could call it promo. So this is the Tyranitar. You guys aren't going to see it, and I'm not even going to attempt to try and show it, but there are 2 swirls on this Tyranitar. It's immaculate. It's a beautiful card. They had this priced at like $10. So I got a really, really good deal on this one. I don't think they checked on the price movement, but it's really going for around $30, $40. So that was a huge, huge win to me. right off the bat, pretty much our value is made just in those couple cards I showed. Then we've got the Gyarados, which is also a stamped card. Looks really nice. I couldn't find any swirls on this one, but again, like a $30 card that was priced at 10. Here we have, y'all know I never go after Japanese, but it was kind of hard to ignore this one. I'm a big Houndoom fan. I graded my own Houndoom from the recent illustration, so I kind of hold it dear to my heart. Dude, I will admit, the colors in Japanese are just so damn vibrant. I'm sorry, my camera is just having such a hard time choosing what to focus on. But the colors in Japanese are so damn vibrant. I don't know why it keeps choosing that Team Rocket booster box. That's so odd that it keeps choosing that one to go after. Anyways, the colors are absolutely vibrant on this Houndour. And in English, this one fetches a pretty penny. In first edition PSA 10, I think there's one listed for like $4,000. So it's kind of nice to be able to pick up for 15 bucks, basically the same art. Oh my God, stop focusing on that. I hate that this camera does that sometimes. Or my phone, I should say. But anyways, for $15, absolute money. Dude, this is such a clean card. And look at the back. In Japanese, just in general, the quality is so good. Okay, so we've got the Houndour. Then next up, we have another Japanese holo, and it's got both of them have gnarly swirls. I'm not gonna attempt to try and get the lighting right, but yeah, another Japanese card, the Blissey. We're not gonna put as much focus on that one, just for the sake of getting through this quickly and uploading it today. Then we've got this black and white Reshiram reverse. These were all picked out of the dollar binder. They have other random sleeves on them now, but honestly, the prices are probably pretty accurate for what's on them. But this Gengar is really, really cool. It has a small, slight crease in the side here, a little hairline crease. If it didn't, I probably would have sent it in for grading, even if it got a 6 or a 7, just because it's so damn cheap and such a cool looking card. I believe that's Breakthrough, I want to say, but I might be wrong on that. We've got a Flapple illustration. We got that out of the dollar binder. We got this Sunflora. It looks absolutely stunning. This is such a good artwork. Honestly, this is a peak artwork. And this Sunflora, I wish would just damn focus. This is exactly why I have to stop doing cinematic. Because when I do cinematic, especially for showing cards, it makes it hard. I love the style that it does the video in. But anyways, you guys get the point. The Sunflora is a peak artwork. This one comes out of Twilight Masquerade. I really like it. They just look really happy. Come on, look at that. Happy artwork. And then the Kangaskhan. Now we had 3 copies of this. So again, you can factor that into this whole lot. But this one was the one that I kind of took out of the lot. You guys can kind of tell. It is slightly off center. The other ones were very, very close in centering, but this one had the worst centering, so I took it out of the pile. Guys, I am really trying to be more critical on myself with Modern and the centering on Modern and just kind of saying, look, if it's even slightly off center, do not grade this. Okay. We have this awesome full art. I've sold this in the past for like, I don't know, $6, $7, I think. So this one has a good track record with me. This is the second one I've had. So, you know, we'll list it. We'll see what happens. But it's just a badass full art. Roaring Moon, Salamence. You guys know I'm a huge Salamence fan. In my 4th biggest submission, we have, so I was originally going to send about 50 Salamence, and then it became like 33 Salamence. And then I think now it's like 25-ish Salamence. Or 27 Salamence. So I really ended up filtering half of all the Salamence SIRs I bought. And those are all being graded. And then the raw ones are on eBay, and I will wait until the market shifts because I think that it's a peak artwork. I don't care that it's not the top hit. But one could say, with my track record, I tend to go after the second most valued card, right? Latias from Surging Sparks. I like that card way more, like leaps and bounds over the Pikachu with the big booty. And then same thing with Journey Together. I know the Lily's Clefairy is the hot card in that set, but like for me, all about the Salamence. Now I know we should be talking about Destined Rivals. We should be talking about the black and white sets. We should be talking about the mega sets to come featuring Mega Rayquaza. That's, guys, huge news, huge news. And it's not that I don't care. It's just that so much is going on in this hobby. It's such a rapid pace. Sometimes it's just nice to show what I'm doing, what I've got going on, and not worry about the rest of the noise. I also feel like right now, and I got to put out a video on this, I haven't put out like a pump or dump or market's gonna crash video in a while, but I honestly feel like prices for sealed has to come down. It has to come down for the next cycle. I honestly feel that way. We're seeing so much modern crashing right now, so we need to have this discussion. We need to have this talk. A video needs to be made, and that will happen soon. Then we got just a couple more illustrations. I'll show. Well, we got the Cressel. That is from Destined Rivals as well, which is great. We want some cards that are very relevant and recent so that my eBay stays relevant. We got Fione, which is Twilight, Masquerade. Looks like Manaphy's little brother. And then we got Clam Pearl. Now this Clam Pearl, this is from Destined Rivals. This Clam Pearl is goated, but it has a little bit too much silvering for my taste. Yeah, and the back has a corner with some whitening. Damn, this is a really nice Clam Pearl though. It's tough. It's tough not to send this one in. But yeah, this is a peak artwork in my opinion. This is absolutely gorgeous. Kind of reminds me of The Little Mermaid, like, I got gadgets and trinkets and gizmos. I don't remember how the song goes. You guys know how the song goes though. I got what's it, who's it's galore. You got thingamabobs? I got 20, but I want more. It's just like Pokemon, always wanting more. Anyways, this Clam Pearl is phenomenal. This artwork is phenomenal. Looking up with the sunlight coming in to that little kind of cave. I love anything that has to do with the ocean, honestly. Anything that has to do with reptiles, dinosaurs, dragons, birds, ocean, just a lot of stuff in the natural world just fascinates me. And this is a beautiful card. Kind of reminds us how important the coral reef is. You can see some of the coral down here. Really, really beautiful. Anyways, that Clam Pearl is a great illustration to end on this note. Anyways, guys, thank you for tuning in to this latest pickup. I've got that auction on eBay. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Hopefully this crazy market calms down, the dust settles. I think we kind of, considering how crazy things are, we picked a perfect time to buy a home. And when we close and all is said and done by the 23rd of this upcoming month, I can kind of dive back into full-on collecting. And then I think I'll be a little bit more in tune with it. But right now, I'm kind of taking a full-on break so that our account balances kind of stay the same. Anyways, peace out, y'all. Have a great day. And thank you.